Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nairi, also known as Wedding Fashion Expert. This week we are discussing what no one tells you when it comes to buying a designer wedding dress. Before we dive into this week's topic, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, drop me a comment below, let me know if there's a particular video topic you'd like me to create for you. I am here for you, guiding you along the way leading up to your special day. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. I am so honored that you found me. I am, of course, a wedding fashion expert, stylist, buyer, and wear many different hats at Lavella Bridal, located in Los Angeles, California. For daily content, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Lavella Bridal, at Lavella Plus, and at Wedding Fashion Expert. Don't forget to hit the follow button on TikTok at Lavella Bridal and at Wedding Fashion Expert as well. You might be wondering what the qualifications are for a designer wedding dress. It really goes beyond just the label and the name of the brand who's manufacturing it. It really comes down to what goes into the design component, the fabric component. So a lot of our designer dresses that we have at Lavella Bridal, our designers are custom making lace designs specifically for their dress designs. So it's not like going overseas to a factory that sells the same fabric to multiple different people, where different designers can then create dresses and designs out of laces that already exist. So there is a pool of materials that people can pull from to make their designs. What truly makes a designer dress is not pulling from those bulk of just random factories that create these different types of materials and creating something that is completely from a sketch. And then you take it to a factory, whether it's in India for custom beading, right? There are things that are done specifically for certain designers and that are exclusive to those designers that you will not be able to see repeated through other manufacturers, and the construction behind the gown. So there is different layers, and of course everything that I'm talking about, having something completely hand beaded, one of a kind, that's produced specifically for a specific designer, and only that designer has access to it, right? They have the rights for it. That item is going to cost more because somebody sat down, strategically designed it, another individual and company produced it, and then it's getting shipped to the designer to then piece together into their creation. So there are so many layers that go into the creations that are being made. So those are really the things that sets apart a designer wedding dress, because it takes more time, effort, people, resources, money, hence that gets translated to the cost on to the consumer, right? So oftentimes I will post different types of dresses that we get in at Lavella. Some are priced at $2,500 to $4,000 to $12,000 to $20,000, and so many people comment about who would spend that much money. How is this different from a $2,000 dress that you posted? Well, it's so different. I know that maybe visually when you see it online, it doesn't feel that different, but it really is different in the sense of the way the materials feel, the way the materials look. And it's hard to tell from the video that you're watching, but when you see it in person, you're able to see the difference. Now, you're also able to see polyester blends versus silk blends. Are the polyester dresses still beautiful? Absolutely. The designs are still gorgeous. We have them at Lavella, and we wouldn't offer them if we didn't think they were beautiful and great value for the cost, right? So the one thing at Lavella is that no matter the price point of the dresses, we are very particular in quality, in fit, in construction, and the way that the dress really fits and molds to each of our brides. Our designers at Lavella work really, really hard on the design components and in terms of where they're going to place certain laces. But at the end of the day, you're getting what you pay for. And not to say that one is better than the other, it really comes down to preference. So some brides will see these things in person and they can notice it and they appreciate it and they want X, Y, and Z based on their findings in person. Other brides have absolutely zero preference. They don't see the value in the couture designer dresses, and they're just not interested in it. So there is something for everybody, and it doesn't mean that one wedding dress is better than the other. They're just different for different reasons. And really it comes down to their pieces of art, right? So you can look at a piece of art that somebody puts $1 million price point on that piece of art, and you might look at it and go, I wouldn't pay $1 for it because I don't think that it's even pretty. And why, right? It's subjective and it's all your own personal opinion. So the few things that I want to clear up in terms of what it means when you are buying a designer dress and the things that people don't tell you about. So oftentimes brides think if they are spending $8,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 on a dress, that they're not going to have to pay as much for alterations. Not the case. Whether you spend $2,000 on a dress or $20,000 on a dress or anything in between, the alterations are going to cost you the same. In next week's video, I am talking about what to expect and the most common things that are done in alterations. So be sure to come back for next week's video, and I'll be sure to make sure to link that below when that video is live for you. So basically, your alterations are going to cost the same no matter what. It doesn't matter how the dress was manufactured, what materials were used. When you are opening and closing seams, that's what you're paying for in alterations. So that's a common misconception when buying a designer dress. It's going to come to my dimensions and I'm not going to have to pay for alterations. It will come with it. Another thing that brides often think is that when you buy a designer couture dress, that the bustle is already done on it. And this is actually something some of our couture designers did do back in the day. They added bustles. However, it was a complete waste of time and effort on their part because we always had to change them. Your bustle is done to your height and your heel height that you're wearing, which is why your heels are so important to have for alterations. So we do the bustle in alterations based on your dimensions. So basically what happens is the front of the dress gets hemmed, a little bit of the side, and then it gradually goes into the train, and then your bustle is designed and measured accordingly to your dimensions. Another thing that most people don't realize is that designer dresses are often a little bit more fragile because the fabrics being used are natural fabrics, really luscious and delicate fabrics, not in the sense that it's not durable. It is, but if you think about it, these dresses are not made to run a marathon in, right? They are made for you to wear for one day. So I think that the common misconception is that because the dress is more expensive, it's going to be more durable. Just because a dress is more expensive doesn't make it any more durable or less durable than a less expensive dress. So when you are buying a designer dress, it doesn't necessarily mean better. It means different. Different how? Different in pattern making, craftsmanship, in detail, customizations, uniqueness, and scarcity. It is not something that is going to be in the masses because it is a smaller pool of individuals who, one, appreciate it, want it, and are willing to invest in it. Because at the end of the day, your wedding, while some people look at it as it's one day, we're just gonna do the bare minimum and that's it. It is an investment. You are investing in memories. This is such a beautiful excuse to have all your loved ones under one roof, capture photos, professional photos of everybody. I will tell you, some of our greatest family photos, including my grandparents who are no longer, are weddings, engagements, and birthdays. We would hire a photographer for all of these events so we could get really amazing quality, candid photos, staged photos. These are photos that we have for a lifetime and for generations to come. And I highly encourage you to do that. It is worth every penny to hire a photographer to come to family events, even if it's not your wedding, to capture the moments and capture your loved ones in real time. And then it keeps you off of your phone and present in the moment because you have somebody there to capture everything. It's truly such a beautiful thing. So these dresses are investments because it's what you're wearing in all the photos. So that's how I look at it as, and I know that some people think that I'm biased because I approach it this way, but at the end of the day, your wedding day comes and goes so quickly. It's all about your hair and makeup, what you're wearing, how you look, and the photographer and videographer quality, because that's really what you get to take home. On your wedding day, you don't look at yourself in the mirror. at all. You are not looking at yourself. So you have to hope that this photographs beautifully and that you've hired and trust the right people to execute your vision into reality so that you can have these memories for a lifetime to come. So never compromise on photo, video. I also highly recommend a content creator on wedding day, because content creators, not to be Instagram viral, that's not at all why I suggest it. I suggest it because they have the ability to capture moments that your professional photographer and your professional videographer may not get. So it's a different perspective, a little bit less professional and more real in the moment. And it's just a great thing to get more footage. Like why wouldn't you? You know, you're investing so much time, effort, and money into planning your wedding. Use it wisely in the sense of capturing every single piece of content and part of your day that you can. Oftentimes people think that a designer wedding dress is going to take longer to come than a non-designer wedding dress. All wedding dresses are made to order. On average, they take about 6 to 9 months to get. We recommend that you buy your dress 1 year before your wedding because you want to leave a few months for alterations. And if it is a haute couture dress, the lead time is typically the same as well. It doesn't necessarily make a difference, but of course each designer is different, and you want to check with your local stores and the stores that you're interested in to find out what the lead times are. But on average, ordering your dress and trying on dresses a year before your wedding is a perfect and safe timeline. If you're watching this video and your wedding is less than a year away, do not panic. There are options for you. A lot of our designers offer rushes that are available, in stock dresses. Sometimes, if you're lucky, it's very rare, but it is possible. And then stores also have sample dresses that are available. In weeks to come, there is a video coming your way of sample dresses and are they worth purchasing and what does it mean? So you'll have a video on that as well. Another thing to consider about designer wedding dresses that I don't think people often think about, because brides will look at fabrics in person and not really think much of a difference of them. Sometimes they really see the difference and other times they don't. It really depends on the person. They do photograph differently, and some may like the way they photograph and some may not like it. So it's all about, when you're trying on dresses, I highly encourage you to take photo and video so that you do see how the fabric moves, what it looks like on camera, so that you can really appreciate it. Higher quality silks and laces have a little bit more detail and grain into the fabric, so you get a little more dimension that come through in photo and video, versus laces that are manufactured in Asia that are just run-of-the-mill, not bad, but run-of-the-mill, and they're not as unique, and you're not going to see as much of a distinct pattern. You will know what I mean when you see it in person, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Some brides love that. It is just goes to show you that's the difference between a designer and a non-designer dress, is the quality of the fabrics and how they come through in photo and video. So that's something to consider as well. Another thing that's available with a designer wedding dress is making some customizations. Now, we're not talking a full custom dress because that's a whole new pattern and it's very complex, and I don't encourage you to do that because oftentimes my brides are super disappointed with the outcome because what they wanted and what they visualized and what they received are two completely different things. Designer dresses are handmade, so there is a little bit of a variation from the sample you tried on to the dress that you're going to get. Subtle, and also in sizes. So if you tried on a certain size and then you ordered it in a different size, especially a smaller size or a larger size, the proportions will be different because of the size shift. And that's something that always surprises my brides. And it's very hard for us as stylists to predict what those changes are going to be. But for example, our sample, if it, let's say, has some sort of a V-neck, the V in our sample, let's say if you go smaller, the V might be closer together. And then if you go larger, the V might be a little further apart. Very, very, very subtle. So sometimes when these dresses come in, brides want it to look more like the sample, and we will make those adjustments in alteration. So that is possible. However, it is a sizing thing, so be mindful of that. Some of the fabrics that you're going to see on designer wedding dresses are going to include stunning fabric, Italian silk micados, you'll have silk charmeuse, you'll have beautiful silk chiffons, high quality tulles and crepes. You will see luscious French lace, which is so expensive and so worth it in the best way. When you see real French lace versus imitation French lace. It's literally like sushi. There's real crab and there's imitation crab. Imitation crab still tastes good. When you have the real crab, it's on a different level. So that's sort of the best parallel that I could come up with in the moment. But there is a true difference in the materials, like I mentioned before, but you're going to see these luscious materials. And I will warn you, once you see them, once you try the construction of a couture dress, it is next level. So a lot of the time you're paying for things that you can't see, which is internal corsetry, internal boning and linings, silk linings. Oh my gosh, some of the linings on these dresses internally, it feels like butter against your body. And that is what you're paying for versus a polyester lining. So there are just so many differences, and I can explain this to brides in store, like I mentioned, and some really appreciate these things and others just don't care about it. It's not a priority for them, and that's okay. Zero judgment on our part, truly. This video is for you to have a resource to understand what the difference is, but I can talk about it, I could show it to you on video, but until you touch, feel, try for yourself, it's not going to make as much sense. So I encourage you to go in store, and this is also why I say don't pick a full budget of how much you're going to invest into your wedding dress until you try them on. So oftentimes I'll have a bride come in store and she'll say, I want to spend $3,000 to $4,000 on my dress. Okay, great. We exhaust everything at $3,000 to $4,000. There's nothing she likes, and then we move up, and it's a way for her to justify how much more she's spending because she really did try everything in the original price point that she wanted. But you really don't understand what the dollar buys you until you physically try them on. You will notice from a $2,000 dress to a $4,000 dress, you're going to have more lace design on the $4,000 dress. You're going to have more strategic seam placements. It's going to contour your body in a different way. You're going to have wider and longer trains. You get what you pay for. And again, it doesn't make it better than the other. It's just your preference, and I just want to provide a little bit of clarity around all these little components when it comes to dress shopping. I hope that you found this video helpful. For more videos and tips like these, be sure to tune in every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I will see you in next week's video.